Hi and good evening. And this is the final session of the 2-day summit. And I'm absolutely delighted that today we had no glitches on Facebook. So that's a real result. I know a lot of people have been dipping in and out. We've seen the comments coming. Unfortunately, we are still struggling to see comments in Facebook because of the glitch. But we've seen them on YouTube and we've seen them in the Facebook group. And I'm absolutely delighted that some people have actually emailed me as well. So that's been really good to have that contact as well. And please do feel free to do that. I love to be able to help ongoing from this. So tonight I'm going to talk about the first stage really of taking it forward from all the things that hopefully have given you some inspiration, some advice, and maybe just that extra push that you were looking for to go out there and do something different about the way you've been planning the career change. And I think every single presentation has given something special for everyone to think about. So I think, as you probably know, you've seen my profile. I'm a careers coach. I'm also a personal development coach. I've been a coach since 2006. And then last year decided that I would add an extra qualification and trained with the Firework brand to become a qualified careers coach. And it works really well with my personal development coaching. I absolutely love it. So I'm starting to sort of think about how I can help people going forward as we're in this quite interesting stage, let's face it, of post-COVID coming along. And a lot of people are on the market and looking for jobs, or, you know, you've worked at home this year and you absolutely don't want to go back into doing that massive commute into a big city. You don't want to go back onto a 0 hours contract. You've ended up with an idea for something really innovative like Shireen, and you want to do something entirely different. So the Facebook group that you've been following with all the presentations in, that will stay alive, and that will now become a sort of a tips, hints, guidance, a community group to share ideas with each other, ask questions, and so that will move forward from this. So I'm going to talk about how you start to plan that career move or change. I think when we get a shock or we get a revelation that, you know, we're not in the right job, that we want to do something completely different, it's all too easy to rush around and get the CV up to date and start doing, as Russell called it, fastest finger first CVs, and, you know, just really pushing yourself out there without taking time to just stand back and really think about the plan and what it is that you want. Because at the end of the day, we are at work so much time that you want to be happy and fulfilled in whatever you're doing. And so it is important to really plan. So I'm just going to share a few slides with you. Okay, so that's us. That's Elevate Careers Coaching, and we love to help people with their journeys to new careers. I'm on 2 screens, so I'm trying to be very organised. Okay, so planning your move or change. So there is a range of sort of different actions that we go through to do that. So the 3 categories are really that we explore, and we really explore what we want to do. We're going to talk quite a lot about that in the next sort of 20 minutes. We dream. And again, I come back to Shireen. For those of you that listen to Shireen, she had a dream and she buried it for a long time and then decided, no, I'm not going to sit on this anymore. But even if you haven't got a long-held dream, there will be things in there in your kit of ideas and thoughts that are things that you'd love to explore. You know, we talk to people who are, you know, airline engineers and want to be a train driver, or they work in IT and they want to be a coach or a physiotherapist. You know, people make really, really big moves, and as long as it's done well and planned, anything is really possible. So you explore and work out what you want from your your job and your career, and really that's a very long part of the process. So you need to really invest some time in that. Then you dream, and nothing is impossible. And again, we'll talk about that. And then you go and discover. And that actually all ties up to a really famous Mark Twain saying of, explore, treat, dream, discover. And he certainly got his dreams realised. So I think it's a really good foundation for planning your career move. So you go into the next stage, which is thinking about your strengths, your achievements, your skills, your values. We all need to work somewhere where our values are in alignment with the brand, the organisation, the people. It's something that can make you very unsettled very quickly if values don't match. But, all those other things, what are your favourite job skills? So, you've got skills, but what are your favourite job skills? And then what are your favourite skills? What are the things you like doing outside work? What's the match? Where is it? What achievements have you had inside work, outside work? You get it all down, you get it all mapped out, and you start to really think about where's the synergy? Where do the two cross over? What can that mean? And then you need to really think about why you want to make that change. And that's why it's really good to work with someone else on this, because that's a really big conversation. What's created that? I think, it's sort of moving jobs all the time. It doesn't always, meet the need of making you happy again at work. It just doesn't. So what is that goal? What has created that need to make a change? And if you've been made redundant and there's nothing, the work in your sector is really dry and there's not very much happening, then we need to think about, okay, how much did you like the job? Was it exactly what you wanted to be doing? Was it something you'd fallen into? Whatever the answer is, then you work out what you're going to do with that knowledge and how you're going to take it forward. And I think it's really important to remember that, career management doesn't mean a job hunt. It can mean a sideways step in the same organisation, like Denise was talking about earlier on today. Her presentation was fantastic to make you think about how you optimise where you are and what you can do with the skills that you learn inside an organisation to be used in a different way, and how you help your organisation to understand that you've got those skills and you've really got that desire to stay there, but you want to do something different. So it doesn't always mean that you've got to go on a job hunt. There will be times when your organisation will be enlightened enough and have the right opportunities for you to be able to stay there, but have a move. But it all still comes into this first stage of explore. Maybe you do want to move. Maybe you want to do the same as you do in a different way somewhere else. Just talk it all through. And obviously there'll be some fears and some doubts in making a move. Sometimes, people have got to go back to study and do something, quite scary that's different. Yeah, there will be some fears and doubts. People worry about financial, they worry about security. But when you work through the plan, either on your own or with somebody else, you'll find that there are lots and lots of possibilities about how you can overcome those fears. There's always a way through it if you approach it with a positive attitude. And it's really important to look at the cup half full. So an exercise I like to do with people when we're working together on a job search is to imagine that every job in the world, whatever it is, paid the same. That pay does not come into the equation at all. And this is a really good exercise to do for yourself. So in an ideal world, I'd like to, what would you like to do? Climb a mountain, build a bike, drive a train, whatever it would be. Think about what you'd like to do. What is it that when you shut your eyes and you think about what you want to be doing, what is that? Fill the clouds with those thoughts. What would you enjoy about that job? Why do you want to do it? What is going to give you the satisfaction? And remember, there is no limit on what you can think about here. If you want to be the Prime Minister or a diplomatic envoy or whatever it is, just put it in there, because this is one of the exercises that really helps us to understand, and for you to understand, what's really important to you and the things that you'd really like to see in your career. Then you think about the qualities that you've got that you could bring to this role that you so badly want. What are those skills? What are those qualities? What are those values? Get them in there, get them on your map. And think then about the skills you've got. I always like to look at the skills I've got and how I can use them, develop them, or learn in the role that you're about to do. A similar exercise to this that I often do with people is that, I look at my life as a 3-lane motorway, and like the inside lane has got all the skills and the knowledge and things that are really easy. They just keep the wheels turning. And most jobs that we go for will have those things in them because they're the foundations of what we do. And then you've got this central lane that has got things in there that maybe aren't quite our favourite things to do, and we've still got things to learn. Or maybe, if you're haven't got a certain skill set, you need other people in your team or around you to help you with that. And then you've got that fast lane that's racing away, that fast lane. It's got things in it you don't know. You feel as though you're losing your breath as you go down it because there's so much to learn and so much to do. And think about all of those things when you go through this part of the Explore. It is and discover. It is really, really important to go through that and bottom it out. Spend some time, go back to it. Do it in pencil, do it in different colours. Just keep changing it and keep moving it, and use this exercise to help you work out what the possibilities are of what you'd like to do and why you'd like to do them. So early on, right from the start of a job change or seeking process, you need to create an ideas bank. And again, put anything in at all that you want. Anything, doesn't matter, just put it in. Every single idea that comes into your mind, just put it in the ideas bank. It can never ever be too full, because when you get further down the process and you're starting to look at what you are going to do and how you're going to take action, you need to come back to that ideas bank and think about why that idea was actually in the bank. And what you'll find with the bank is that you'll start to identify themes. So you'll find some things that click together. Maybe there's 4 or 5 ideas in there that all relate back to gardening. So there's a theme: outdoors, growing things, nature. You start to look at things that can bring a theme together. So get your ideas into your ideas bank, fill it up every day with something new, and then start to see if those themes start to come out. They're just flowering, and they're starting to come out. And above all, in this exercise, be open-minded. I can't stress that enough. As you go through this discover phase, be open-minded. Don't put the blocks up. That's incredibly important to do. Just don't put the blocks up. And I think that's, if you listen to Dawn Butler as well about, the fact that she never puts a block in her way. There's a husband going, hang on, what about that? And Dawn's going, no, it'll be fine. And she's got that absolute optimism, however scared she is, that it will all come right. So don't put the blocks there. This is only a discover phase. It's not going to hurt at all in any way, because you're just thinking and you're just discovering. In discovery, you need to think, what's my destination? Why am I doing this? Where do I want to be? Recruiters often ask that, question, that standard question: where do you want to be in 5 years' time? If this happened, what would you have achieved by now? All those questions. And it's no different to your job search. Know where you're going and know what you want to do. What is your destination? And it can change. We can all change destinations. That's absolutely fine. But have something in mind that's, way out there in the distance, at a 2-year and a 5-year interval, maybe, of where you're heading for. Because that way you'll have the knowledge of knowing that I need to do this qualification, or I need to get experience in this. If you want to go and work in a sector that you've got absolutely no experience in, then you've potentially got to go and do some charitable work, or go and do some just some weekend helping out in terms of a part-time job or something like that, you probably need to get some experience somewhere along the way. So know the destination and have it in mind. And just talking about aspirations, which we've just done in the previous slide, one of the things I always like to know is what did you want to do when you were young? When you were 5, when you were 11, when you were 14, when you were 18, what did you envisage yourself doing? Had you got an idea? And it's worth going back to that, because that might help you map the journey, this discovery journey, because some of those ideas probably did have some merit. Back to Shireen and her shoes. She knew from an early age she wanted to create a shoe range, but she buried it. But it was there. It was always there. And so, out it came. Dawn, she wanted to be famous. Well, she is. And so, have those things in your mind. Ellie wasn't sure she wanted to teach, but she knew she wanted to lose her languages. She's found a way to do that and do it really successfully. So all of that can be achieved, whatever those dreams were. Come back to them and think about them, and see if they are still relevant for you to put into this map and to map this journey out. And it's always helpful as well to put them in some sort of visual. I'm a great one for stationery. I love coloured notebooks and folders and all that sort of thing. And so I always have all my things all go in different coloured notebooks and matching folders, and it works really well for me. Some people I know love to have a collage. And put everything down on the collage so they can look at it and make it visual, or a mood board, whatever it is that helps you. Make it visual. If you make things visual, you're much more likely to make them happen. So definitely get something visual out there for all your thoughts. So a quick summary. So explore, dream, go out there and think about it. And then the part that we haven't talked about tonight is about action. It's about how you take the action, how you get everything together for that explore and dream and make it into something that is going to work for you in terms of taking action going forwards. But you need to do the first part in detail. I cannot stress that enough before you come to do that part. So that's the sort of the summary. I wanted to talk as well about this week, for the last 2 days. I think we've been incredibly fortunate that people have come along to share with us some really amazing and inspirational stories. And I know I've said that a few times, but truly, some of these people I know quite well, but I've learned things about them on this journey that I didn't know before. So I would say, go back. All the presentations are on catch up, so go and look at them on catch up. And while you're going through your own explore and dream and discover, listen to them and what they've done and how they've made it happen. Listen to what Dinah and Joe and Russell talked about in what makes a really, really good application, and how different is that. For Russell's organisation, we're, in many of the businesses he works with, they are still looking at CVs. They're looking at, a maximum 3-page CV, a black and white document that gives you really great information. In Joe's organisation, they're looking for reels. They don't have CVs. They use LinkedIn profiles. In Dinah's, they have CVs, but they're not as important as the way people interview and what they do as the process. And then, of course, you've got Tracy that helps to know what different organisations want and how you can put it all together. So you've got the inspiring side of Ellie, Denise, Dawn and Shireen, and then you've got the practical side of the recruitment specialists. And I really hope that by putting all that together is giving you something really solid to go forward with. So as I said at the beginning, stay with the Facebook group. It's going to turn into an information, ask questions. If you're going through a job search and you want to come in there and ask people what they're thinking, what their advice would be, how they would tackle things. If you come across an unusual interview situation and you want to ask questions about it, then that's the place to pop into, and we'll help you as much as we can. So I am going to pull together all the questions and all the people who've been in on the various formats throughout the last 2 days, as well as we've had some, as I say, email questions in, put it all together, and then we're going to do a prize draw. And then tomorrow we'll announce on the Facebook page who's won £1,500 worth of career coaching with myself. So thanks very much for being here for the last 2 days. And I hope this has helped you start your job search with a different view, and that you are feeling really positive about it. Please do drop us a note. I'd love to know how you're getting on. All right. Have a nice evening. Thank you.